My name is Sarah, and I always dreamed of a love story like the ones in books. I wanted to meet someone who would make my heart race, someone who would understand me, and someone who would make me feel special. But I never thought my love story would begin in such an unexpected way. One evening, I was walking in the park, enjoying the cool breeze. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted with soft pink and orange colors. I had a cup of coffee in my hand, taking small sips as I walked slowly, lost in my thoughts. Suddenly, I bumped into someone. My coffee spilled all over his jacket. I gasped in shock. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," I said quickly, reaching for tissues from my bag. The man looked down at his jacket, then laughed. "It's okay. I needed a new jacket anyway." His voice was warm, and his eyes were kind. I smiled nervously and started wiping his jacket. "I didn't see you coming. I wasn't paying attention." He shook his head. "Don't worry about it. Accidents happen." That was the first time I met Ryan. We stood there for a few minutes talking about random things. He told me his name, and I told him mine. We laughed about the coffee accident, and before I knew it, I felt comfortable with him. He had an easygoing nature, and his smile made me feel at ease. "Can I buy you a coffee to make up for this?" I asked, feeling guilty about his ruined jacket. He grinned. "Only if you let me buy you one too." That evening, we sat on a bench in the park, drinking coffee and talking. It felt like I had known him for years, even though we had just met. After that day, Ryan and I started meeting more often. Every time we were together, I felt happier. He would bring me small gifts, a flower, a book, or my favorite chocolate. "You don't have to do this," I told him once, holding a rose he had given me. "I want to," he said with a smile. "You deserve it." Ryan was not just kind. He was also very supportive. One day, I told him about my dream of becoming a writer. I was nervous, afraid he would think it was silly, but instead, he looked at me with admiration. "You can do it, Sarah," he said. "I believe in you." His words gave me confidence. No one had ever encouraged me like that before. We went on long walks, talked about life, dreams, and everything in between. He made me laugh, he listened to me, and he made me feel special. I had never felt this way about anyone before. One evening, as we watched the sunset together, Ryan held my hand. His touch was warm, comforting. "I never thought I would meet someone like you," he whispered. "You make my life better." My heart melted. I looked into his eyes and smiled. "I feel the same way." Everything felt perfect, like we were meant to be. But life is not always like a fairy tale. Sometimes love stories take unexpected turns. Lily had been my best friend since childhood. We grew up together, shared our secrets, and supported each other in every situation. She knew everything about me, my dreams, my fears, and even my little habits. I always believed that no matter what happened in life, Lily would always be by my side. When I first told her about Ryan, she was excited. "Oh, my God, Sarah, he sounds perfect for you," she said with a big smile. "I'm so happy for you." Her words made me feel even more confident about my relationship. She asked me about Ryan all the time, how we met, what we talked about, and how he treated me. She even helped me choose gifts for him. It felt great to have my best friend's support. Everything seemed perfect, but then little things started to change. At first, I didn't notice it much, but over time, I realized that Lily had started acting differently. She stopped calling me as often as before. When I texted her, she would reply late or sometimes not at all. When we used to hang out, she was always excited to hear about Ryan. But now, whenever I mentioned him, she quickly changed the topic. One day I asked her, "Lily, is something wrong? You seem a little distant lately." She forced a smile. "No, I've just been busy with work and family stuff. That's all." I wanted to believe her, but something inside me didn't feel right. One afternoon, I was walking past a small cafe near my house when I saw something that made my heart stop. Through the window, I saw Ryan and Lily sitting together at a table. They were leaning in close, talking in serious voices. Their expressions looked intense, as if they were discussing something important. I felt a strange pain in my chest. Why were they meeting without telling me? I walked into the cafe, trying to act normal. The moment they saw me, their expressions changed. Ryan straightened up, and Lily quickly grabbed her bag. "Hey, what are you doing here?" Lily asked, forcing a laugh. I looked at both of them. "I was just passing by. What's going on?" Ryan cleared his throat. "Oh, nothing much. We just ran into each other and decided to sit for a while." His voice sounded calm, but something felt off. I smiled and nodded, pretending everything was fine. But deep inside, I felt uneasy. After that day, things only got stranger. Lily became even more distant. If I asked her about Ryan, she would quickly change the subject. If I asked Ryan about Lily, he would do the same. It was as if they both didn't want to talk about each other. I started noticing little things. Ryan would cancel our plans, saying he was busy. Lily would make excuses not to meet me. But every time doubt entered my mind, I pushed it away. "They're just friends," I told myself. "Lily would never betray me. Ryan loves me. There's nothing to worry about." I wanted to believe it. I needed to believe it. But deep inside, something told me that things were not as simple as they seemed. At first, everything seemed fine. I was happy with Ryan, and even though Lily had been acting strange, I told myself it was nothing. But as time passed, I started noticing little things, things that didn't feel right. Ryan was always so caring in the beginning. He would send me sweet good morning texts, ask about my day, and make time for me no matter how busy he was. But suddenly things changed. He started replying late to my messages. Sometimes he wouldn't reply at all. When I asked him about it, he would just say, "Sorry, I was busy." He also started canceling our plans. We had planned a movie night one Friday, and I was so excited. But just an hour before, he texted me, "Hey, something came up. Can we do this another time?" It wasn't just once or twice. It kept happening. I tried to understand. Maybe he really was busy. But deep inside, I felt like something was wrong. Lily and I used to talk every day. But now, she barely called me. Whenever I invited her to hang out, she would make excuses. One day I asked her directly, "Lily, why are you avoiding me? Did I do something wrong?" She forced a smile. "No, of course not. I've just been busy with work and family." Her words sounded normal, but her voice didn't. There was something she wasn't telling me. One evening, Ryan and I were sitting together at a cafe. His phone buzzed, and he quickly picked it up. He read the message and smiled. I playfully asked, "Who's that?" Ryan quickly locked his phone and put it in his pocket. "Oh, it's just work stuff," he said. I laughed it off but something didn't feel right. Why did he look so nervous? Why did he hide his phone so fast? I told myself I was overthinking. I trust Ryan. I trust Lily. There's no reason to doubt them. But the doubts didn't go away. One evening, I was walking home from the grocery store when I saw Ryan. He was coming out of a restaurant. I smiled and was about to call his name when I saw her. Lily. She was walking beside him, laughing at something he said. They looked so comfortable together, as if they had no secrets, no worries. My heart pounded in my chest. I froze in my spot, gripping my shopping bag tightly. I wanted to believe it was just a coincidence. Maybe they met by accident. Maybe it was nothing. I turned around and walked away. I didn't want to see more. I didn't want to ask questions. Because deep inside, I was afraid of the answers. That night, I kept thinking about what I saw. I wanted to ask Ryan, but I was scared. What if he got angry? What if I was wrong and he thought I didn't trust him? I wanted to ask Lily, but I was afraid she would lie to me. So I told myself again, they are just friends. I am overthinking. Everything is fine. But was it really? The day I discovered the truth, my world shattered. I had spent weeks ignoring the signs, telling myself that everything was fine. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. I just wasn't ready to face it. Until that day. It was Ryan's birthday, and I wanted to do something special for him. I bought his favorite cake, a thoughtful gift, and planned to surprise him at his apartment. I was excited. Maybe I was just being paranoid all this time. Maybe this surprise would remind us of how much we loved each other. But fate had something else planned for me. When I reached Ryan's apartment, I took a deep breath. I wanted this moment to be perfect. I knocked on the door, holding the cake and gift in my hands. Then I heard something. Laughter. A woman's laughter. My heart started beating fast. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe he had guests. Maybe it was his sister or a friend. But deep down, I knew. I knocked again. This time, the laughter stopped. Footsteps came toward the door. The door opened slowly, and there she was. She stood in front of me, wearing Ryan's shirt. Her hair was messy, and she looked shocked to see me. My hands went cold. The cake almost slipped from my grip. Behind her, Ryan appeared. His face turned pale. He opened his mouth to say something, but no words came out. I couldn't breathe. My voice felt stuck in my throat, but I managed to ask the only question that mattered. What is this? Ryan looked away, ashamed. Lily lowered her head, avoiding my eyes. I can explain. Ryan finally said. I laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was the kind of laugh that comes when your heart is breaking, and you don't know what else to do. Explain what, Ryan? My voice cracked. That you've been lying to me? That my best friend, my sister, betrayed me? Tears filled my eyes, but I refused to cry in front of them. Lily whispered, I never meant to hurt you. I turned to her, my anger and pain mixing together. Then why did you do this? Why didn't you just tell me the truth? She had no answer. Ryan tried to reach for my hand. Please let me talk to you. I stepped back. Don't. Just don't. I turned around and walked away. Ryan didn't stop me. Lily didn't call after me. They both knew they had destroyed something that could never be fixed. As I walked down the street, the pain hit me all at once. I had lost the man I loved, and the friend I trusted most in the same moment. That night, I cried until there were no tears left. But deep inside, I knew one thing. This was not the end of my story. This betrayal would not define me. I would survive this. I had to. The pain of betrayal was unbearable. I felt lost, broken, and completely alone. How could the two people I trusted the most hurt me like this? For days, I stayed in my room, crying and replaying everything in my mind. Was I not good enough? Was it my fault? The questions haunted me. But as time passed, I realized something important. It was not my fault. Their betrayal said more about them than it did about me. I had loved truly and trusted deeply. That was not a weakness. It was strength. And I refused to let their actions destroy me. The first step was accepting the pain. I allowed myself to grieve. I didn't pretend to be okay. I cried when I needed to, but I also reminded myself that this feeling wouldn't last forever. I started spending more time with my family. They reminded me of my worth, of who I was before Ryan and Lily. Their love and support gave me strength. I also went back to my old passion, writing. I had always dreamed of becoming a writer, but I had pushed that dream aside while I was with Ryan. Now, I picked up my journal and started writing again. Writing became my therapy. Each word I wrote helped me heal. It reminded me that I still had a purpose, even after all the pain. I had so many memories with Ryan and Lily. At first, everything reminded me of them. The park where Ryan and I met, the cafe where Lily and I used to sit for hours, the gifts Ryan gave me. It was painful, but I knew I had to move on. So I made a decision. I removed everything that reminded me of them. I deleted Ryan's messages. I put away the gifts. I stopped visiting the places we used to go together. It was hard, but it was necessary. I also stopped asking, why did they do this to me? I would never get a real answer. And even if I did, it wouldn't change what happened. Instead of focusing on the past, I chose to focus on my future. One evening, I went back to the park, the same place where I first met Ryan, but this time, I wasn't there to think about him. I sat on a bench, feeling the cool breeze on my face, and for the first time in weeks, I smiled. Not because I had forgotten the pain, not because I had forgiven them, but because I had survived. I was no longer the girl who ignored the signs. I was no longer the girl who depended on someone else for happiness. I was stronger. I was wiser. And I was ready for a new beginning. Love had broken me, but it would not define me. One day, I would love again. But next time, I would choose someone who truly deserved me. And until that day came, I would focus on myself, my dreams, and my happiness, because I finally understood. I did not need Ryan or Lily to be whole. I was already complete on my own.